Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to A Clash of Kings 3.0. Now, when we left off, we had just taken Ixacaria, and we had subsequently defended it, and we have now obviously been awarded it as well by our liege, which is actually kind of a bit annoying, because we are, I think, on day 126 right now. Maybe 127, not entirely sure, but we now have another vassal who is attempting to attack us. We will be attacking him on the fields of battle, of course, and I would very much love to return to Westeros so that I might be able to get a couple of extra archers. Now, I did say in the previous episode that it may be a good idea to get some infantry, more specifically some spearmen, so I might try and get some Bravos infantry, because they're right next to us here. Just look at our archers right now. There's just so many. I don't think that we really need to worry about archers, do we? I mean, we have, 54 of them right now on the battlefield. It's just insane how much damage they're able to deal, and having a small elite group of infantry, maybe about 20-25 of them, would actually make a huge difference. I don't really want to be using cavalry at all, actually, because I personally find that cavalry in general is not really my bag, and using that adage is not particularly accurate, really, but the point is that I don't really like using cavalry. And that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird, because you'd think that I would be more than happy to use some of the most powerful, units in the game, because cavalry in general is always going to be much more powerful than basically anything else, apart from obviously spearmen who counter cavalry. But it's like a rock paper scissors kind of thing sometimes. But it's just the fact that the cavalry decide to charge in very, very quickly, and usually that's kind of annoying to me, because I don't really like micromanaging units too much, as you may very well know, because I wouldn't say I'm lazy, but I would say that I'm pretty slow when it comes to actually telling people what to do, because in general I really like to see what the AI does themselves, because I'm the kind of person that will, for example, those series or those events that people do, like on Twitch or in a video series where they allow all of the civilizations in a particular civilization game to fight each other. Now that's really, really interesting to me, because I love to see what the AI decides to do in those kinds of situations, and that's exactly the reason why, for example, in games like Sims and, well, not SimCity, because that obviously doesn't really, that requires your input, but in games like Sims, I actually like to allow my sim or his or her family to basically do whatever, and I just let them do that. I don't actually input any commands whatsoever, and usually that results in a much more rewarding and interesting experience, because some of the time, they'll go off on some random wild goose chase and maybe find a meteorite, or I don't know. Depends on the Sims game you're playing, of course, but that's the point that I'm trying to make here, and hopefully that's understandable. Although, me kind of comparing Mount and Blade AI, which is kind of rudimentary at points, mostly. But the point is that comparing Sims AI, which is obviously meant to simulate life in a kind of loose manner, and comparing that to Mount and Blade is probably not the best idea. So, it's not gonna make too much sense to do that. But the whole reason why I bring up these comparisons is because, as I say, I like to see what the AI likes to do. And, it's always really fun to watch those Civilization streams and things like that whenever I get a chance. Obviously, I used to do that a lot more, but now I'm just extremely busy, so it's really difficult to find the time to do those kinds of things. And usually people feel like that's really boring, and I don't know. Is it? I think it might be. I think it might be to a lot of people, but to me, I just like seeing how the AI handles things. But there it is. There's a very easy fight and 0 casualties. And that's exactly it. 0 casualties, because all of our archers are just insane. Really, really nice. And yeah, I did buy a little bit of food because we were running out of that. So yeah, now the one problem I'm foreseeing here, I mean, why am I not getting any troops? I have enough for 4 times. So in theory, I should be getting people. A training yard helps to train better troops. Alright, well, I don't... Yeah, 4,000. I don't really want to do that, to be honest. I mean, I would love to. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think I have enough money for that, to be honest. So what I'm going to do right now, I have 11 days left on our food, and we have about 70 days left for the challenge. And if you recall, the challenge is all about creating our own faction before the 200-day mark. And it seems like we might actually be in with a really good chance of being able to do that, as Braavos makes peace with Volantis for the 100th time. Yes, of course. So, as you can see, we actually have a pretty reasonable amount of space in our army here. So I'm going to run around to these various... Yeah, I raided this village, didn't I? I raided that village. That's the reason why the relation is really, really low. I thought to myself, why am I not seeing recruit peasants here? Yes, exactly. So yeah, I obviously raided that or something at some point and kind of annoyed them. So I'm terribly sorry about that. Village of Brillian, or whatever your name is. Yes, of course. Okay, well, anyway, let's go over here and see if I can just get a couple more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so how many do I have now? I have about 17. That's really easy to actually recruit people here. Now, I'm actually going to take a look at the troop trees real quick because... Wait a minute. Are there troop trees? It seems like there aren't any troop trees as far as I'm aware. Oh, that's kind of a shame. There's our weekly budget. Unfortunately... Whoa. Okay. Little bit worrying, isn't it? That's a little bit worrying, I have to admit. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, the rents from Ixacaria are obviously a lot less than they were in the previous week because obviously they were, you know, building up and up and up and they had no lord to give it to, so the first week is always very good. Okay, well, we're gonna go and purge this village of bandits because, you know, we can always use the relation, and I'm sure my archers could definitely use the practice. Yes. The Black Bow Company, as is coined by one of our, you know, rather prestigious commenters, as I think you know who that is. But anyway, let's see. Oh no, they have shields. Well, this is not good. Okay, come on, archers, fire, fire. Are you gonna fire? It seems like they are firing. They're not watering. Oh yeah. Let me just. I'll show myself out. Okay. Oh, we dealt some damage while we were stumbling. That's what Elias does. He likes to, you know, tell people that he's gonna stumble, and then he stumbles, and then he hits them at the same time. Now that's impressive, if I do say so myself. I'd not like to get killed though by mountain bandits. So if you could, come on now, archers. You're not really that bad, are you? You're not really that bad that you're going to allow them to just attack us here. Okay, I'm just going to tell them to charge in, because obviously we have armed villagers by the dozen here, because they are, of course, inhabiting the village. I hope that R1 will not die, because we need him to survive. The only reason that our army is actually doing any good is because he is alive. That one-armed villager. Yes. The one-armed villager is the most powerful unit, just by inspiring the rest of the troops. So, yes, allied casualties. Okay, so we didn't lose our one-armed villagers, so that's nice. So, let's just refuse all of that, and there's another 6 Bravosi levies. Very nice to see that. Why did they not level up? Why didn't they level up? Come on now, guys. Why didn't you level up? I'm kind of disappointed now. I thought they would level up. Anyway, let's take a look here. We have 1 attribute point, 1 skill point, and a bunch of weapon points. So, what are we gonna do? I'm thinking maybe we probably want to go for trainer now, because it's, I don't know, I mean, like, we have some points in surgery, so I think we may as well just go for another point in intelligence here, and then 1 point in surgery, and we'll go for another in trainer, just to get a little bit of extra bonus. Let's get some weapon proficiency points in throwing weapon proficiency as well. And there you go. Let's head back to Ixacaria, I guess. Alright, well, after having just done a real-time event to give a young boy a sack of coins, totaling 500, we've gained some honor from that, which is always nice. But Other than that, I have some pretty dire news, and the news is that the Liege of Lorath has decided to attack Ixacaria, and yeah, that is actually really quite bad, but the main thing why that has happened is because the automatic recruiting tool is not actually working for some reason, because at this point, I think it probably would have given us some units, but I walked by the Liege on my way to Greycliffs as he was besieging it, and there were still only 5 units in there, so I have no idea why the auto-recruiting function is not working, but doesn't matter because we're at Greycliffs, and our main goal is... oh my. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, so this is probably my bane. This is, in my opinion, the worst siege in the entirety of any Warband mod ever. Maybe not, it depends, but this is one of the worst. Shall we just say that? Let's just say that it's one of the worst. And I really do not like it. I do not appreciate this at all. Yep, as you can see, this is the reason why I hate it. Mainly because we are going to get absolutely destroyed by any of the crossbowmen, archers, whatever you want to say. And it's going to be a massacre, and essentially Elias's death is very, very soon. So I'm just going to try and get everyone in here as quickly as I can before I die. And can they move now? Can you start to move, guys? I would very much appreciate it. Oh yeah, okay, so the one thing we need them to do is just funnel in all at once, start firing. As you can see, they've already taken out the initial crossbowman defenders, and all I needed to do was basically just tell them to go inside. Hopefully that's not going to result in many of them perishing. It probably is, but hopefully the Braavosi levies are going to take some of the damage for us. Why are they not firing right away? I don't know. I don't know why they're not firing right away, but it seems like they're just like, okay, let's get into position first before firing back. Yeah, that's not exactly the greatest idea, is it? Yeah, I would very much hope that you would actually kill these, though. Can you actually kill some of these? Okay, this is going to be a pretty costly siege. I'm actually a little bit dubious about this. Maybe I should have just retreated immediately upon seeing that it was this particular siege layout, because I hate this layout with a passion, so I don't know. Maybe it would have been a better idea to just been like, oh no, see ya, I'm not gonna do this. Yeah, I don't know. We are just losing so many Raventree archers, and it took me so long to recruit them. Oh, the agony that it took me. Okay, well, how are we doing so far? I can't even get up the stats of how many we've killed and how many casualties we've suffered, but the enemy is receiving reinforcements, and obviously we have an overwhelming advantage against the Lorath Velugemen, because they have no shields. So it's absolutely insanely easy to kill them, but obviously on the other hand their crossbowmen did, well, actually destroy us relatively easily. Can you actually... yeah, thank you. Wow, finally this guy was killed. This guy literally by himself probably took out about, what, 5 Raventree archers by himself, and it's only because he was being ignored. And if I was alive, then obviously that would have made a difference, because I could have changed our positioning and things like that. But other than that, yeah, I think we're okay. Okay, well, that seems to be it. There seems to only be a small handful of units remaining. Most of them are crossbowmen. So if I do retreat now, which is obviously going to be... is it going to be a foregone conclusion? I think it probably is going to be something that I'm going to be doing, because I cannot command them at all, and we are still suffering casualties. As you can see, look at that. 19 Raventree archers. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know. That is absolutely preposterous. Absolutely. I am very disappointed in our units there, because I really thought that we would have that in the bag, but apparently the Raventree archers just wanted to die. Yes, apparently they just wanted to die. Ah, and now we have this guy who is with 31. Right. Okay, can I change commander? No, I cannot. Okay, so I have to order my troops to attack without me. I can't do that. I have to, though. I mean, literally, I have to do this, and it's going to cause us to lose so many of our forces. I mean, I could have pulled back, but now I get to take him prisoner, so I suppose that is kind of worth it, but even so, I lost, what, another 4 Raventree archers. At least we had some levies, and I suppose they've leveled up a little bit, but wow, they're taking a long time to level up too. So I suppose there's also that to take into account. Yeah, I probably should have run away from this. Oh, that is the Liege himself. So they left Ixacaria to come over here and defend Greycliffs. Isn't that amusing? That is actually extremely amusing, because I would have thought that they would have just concentrated on Ixacaria, and I could have saved myself the pain and suffering that Greycliffs just caused us. So, yeah, I thought that was actually going to be much easier than it turned out to be, but isn't that just the way? I really should have just trusted my instinct there. I thought to myself, okay, we have Raventree archers, we have Carhold longbowmen, I should really be able to take this, even though it's a pretty painful and agonizing siege with minimal casualties. Turns out, I was very, very wrong, and now Greycliffs is being besieged by Admiral Vireo. Ah, how wonderful is he? He is such a wonderful man for doing that, isn't he? Ah, that grinds my gears. That really grinds my gears, actually. I am kind of livid now, because I took all of those casualties, and now the AI is going to swoop in. And that's exactly what I mean about the Warband AI as well. They're extremely selfish at times, but obviously they're just doing what they're programmed to do, so I can't really blame them because it's my own fault. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.